fantastic to have David Littleproud, the leader of the Nationals, here to officially endorse the announcement that I will be the Nationals candidate for the federal seat of Whitlam in the upcoming federal election. I've got good experience in Parliament, and I want to bring all of that experience that I've had in the state government, as a minister, as a local representative, more than 20 years as a combined federal staffer and as a local member of Parliament, into representing people of the Whitlam electorate. I know what it is to fight for issues in my local area, and I can see so many issues currently facing the great people who live in the Whitlam electorate that I want to fight for, that I want to do things for, and I will be relentless in my advocacy for the people of this area. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the electoral boundaries, because there are redistributions on quite a regular basis, and I'm no stranger to redistributions either. Yes, the Winter Caribbean is now within the Whitlam electorate, and that is fantastic because having broken bits of Shire councils does make it more challenging to represent the needs of those council areas, and I look forward to working very closely with the mayors and the other local representatives of all the shires in the Whitlam electorate. But certainly it does make it a little bit more coalition friendly, having the entire Winter Caribbean Shire Council in the electorate, but I don't take anything for granted. I will fight for every single vote that I possibly can to lead up to this election.
Katrina, if you are elected and you curb the offshore wind farm, what's your solution to the energy crisis?
Well, we have a great plan for energy here in Australia, and that has been outlined very clearly by the coalition over several months now. Indeed, since last year, we've got a proposal here by Labor and the Greens to have an offshore wind farm, which I don't know anybody who wants it. I certainly don't. The people here today certainly don't. And we will fight tooth and nail to oppose this offshore wind farm. I will do whatever I can to make sure that that doesn't happen. We've got a great and clear plan moving forward, which does involve renewables, but it also involves ensuring that we can make our great industries, such as BlueScope, sustainable for the future. Now, BlueScope, it's no secret, requires gas, requires coal for many years to come yet. And we have said very clearly in our plan that yes, we will support nuclear in existing areas where there are decommissioning coal-fired power plants. So that is something that we've been very clear on, very strong with our energy policy. We know that this means that we'll have a good, secure energy future for Australia.
Mr. Littleproud, can I ask a question? Thanks. Will you give Barnaby Joyce a cabinet position if you win government?
Look, we're not talking about positions after the election. We're focused on Australian people, not on Canberra bubble stories. This isn't about trying to understand no one, whether they be Liberal or Nationals, guaranteed any job after the election. Our focus is on the Australian people and being able to articulate a clear vision of getting cost of living crisis under control. How you do that is a sensible energy policy. That's gas. We can only drill our way out of this in the short term. In the next 12 to 18 months, we need to bring a lot of gas on. We're going to transition into nuclear energy. And then it's also about making sure we put downward pressure on food bills, and that's with gas in the short term, in the long term, and some sensible housing policy that actually brings in the people who need to build some homes and stop this madness on construction codes that we've now gone to a 7-star construction code that's at $60,000 to the construction of a home. So we're just going to use some common sense about who our ministers after will be determined with conversations after the election. That's not our focus. Our focus is on the Australian people.
Have you intentionally sidelined Mr. Joyce from the campaign by creating a rule that says MPs can't travel outside their electorate without permission?
No, that's not the actual facts. In fact, if this is the quality of questions that you're focused on, I think the Australian people would be disappointed that their money's going to the national broadcaster. I've made it very clear. Every election, we have a coordinated approach where shadow ministers go into electorates to make sure that we don't have 2 or 3 shadow ministers go there at the same time. The Labor Party does that, the Liberal Party does that. This is a Canberra bubble story. Now, while the ABC might be worried about that, I'm more worried about getting cost of living down. You will see at Barnaby Choices at the moment out campaigning in the Northern Territory in a must-win seat at Lleyton. So Canberra bubble stories you can keep for Canberra and you can send that back to Canberra. I've told the gallery of that 2 or 3 times. Barnaby Choices today campaigning for us and we'll continue to campaign right up until election.
Will you tell Canberra about whether women voters trust Barnaby Joyce?
Yes, and they trust the coalition. I've got to say, if you look at the polling, the party that has the problem with it is the Labor Party. Polling shows that women overwhelmingly support the coalition in the upcoming election. But what I've done is, since I've been leader, is the first thing you did acknowledge that at the last election we didn't win as many women votes as what we'd like to. And I engaged in a national listening tour, so much so that I created an environment that I wanted to see more female candidates come forward, like Katrina today. And in fact, we're probably going to hit 60 to 70% of our candidates in House of Representatives that'll be women candidates. Not because I had a quota, not because of anything other than just saying we're going to create the right environment for the best person to come forward. And I've got one of the best people standing next to me to come forward and the National Party with their hand up.
Katrina, can I ask a question? Have you been in contact with Ben Britton, the Liberal candidate? Will you be sharing resources?
Well, we are different political parties, obviously, and I am here focused on running for the Nationals. That's what I'll be doing. We have a coalition agreement which is very strong. So, in that agreement, we always exchange our preferences and we'll be making sure that that is kept tightly. So we will share many of the same ideals. And I believe that I'm a stronger candidate. I'm definitely a lot more experienced than anybody else in the field. And I'll be taking that experience and that strength with me as I campaign, hopefully to a successful election.
What evidence do you have?
Sorry. 4 in a row. So you're running, both parties, coalition are running in the election.